Hi everyone. I wanted to do a special pick a card today, or actually pick a pile. Something different that I was called to do for whatever reason. So I'm hoping that it helps at least one person or resonates because that makes it worth it for me. That's why I'm doing this. So I will timestamp down below so that you can see which one you're drawn to, and feel free to watch all three because there could be messages here that bits and pieces that resonate for you. So my intention with this one is to tap into the new moon energy. We're already, thank God we're past that. That full moon was really intense. But so today is Sunday, and in less than a week, so next Saturday, is the next new moon, and it's in Pisces, I believe. And what I'm reading about this one is it's actually going to be, hopefully, in comparison to the last full moon, a gentle energy. So very interestingly, I have this Kuan Yin Oracle is one of the new decks that I have, and I've used it for myself a few times, but I don't think I've used it in a reading yet. And Kuan Yin's energy is just such a gentle, loving, just etheric, she's just amazing. Just very feminine, and she wanted to be here. So what the intention I set is, I guess, along these lines, new moons, are about manifesting, and we're about to enter a new season with spring. So there's the equinox. Yeah, the equinox is coming up, and just, oh, the other thing, Pisces is considered the last sign of the zodiac wheel, I guess. And so what I've read too is that there's this with the new season coming, with it being the last season, it's like, what's really holding you back from getting to the next level, right? Are there untapped gifts that you want to use? What is blocking you? What chakras, do you need to work on to kind of just like unleash kind of this next level of yourself, right? Are you really, probably if you're resonating with this video, you might feel like you're not tapping into your divine life purpose, right? All those types of things. I kind of set this intention, so I don't know what's going to come out. I pre-shuffled these, but, as I was shuffling, I was kind of saying, let's look at the blocks that's holding this person back. Let's look at the chakras that need some love and attention and healing. What gifts, if that wants to come forth, just what messages in general that Spirit has for you at this time on your journey. And so what we're going to do at the very end of each one is that I'm actually going to, I have the Kuan Yin card as the last. And this is one of those decks that you'll see. I mean, they're so beautiful. And, it's got literally like just words on it. Blossoms of the Sky Dancer. Well, what the heck does that mean? That's something that, most likely I'm not going to probably get a download. Maybe something that I might get a good feeling about, but this is the type of Oracle deck. Unlike my Triggers and Shadows one, that one has, very vivid images that really give you the picture of what's going on. This one, the guidebook is really essential to get the channeled message that came through for Elena Fairchild when she created these cards. So that's how we're going to finish, is that. So I'm going to, read you guys those. All right. So again, I had the preview picture up on the YouTube reading, so you'll see that, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys again. We'll see if it works here. Number 1 was the amethyst raw crystal. Number 2 was the malachite skull. And number 3 was the lapis pyramid. Okay, so and I'll show you guys each one. I'm going to move these aside now. Gosh, that skull is heavy. Okay, and I'll go ahead and show you the decks really quick. Like I said, if you ever want to know where I bought the decks, if there's some of them are still in print, some are not. Usually the Doreen Virtue ones are not. Unfortunately, you might be able to score them on eBay. I have done that with a few. I think both of these are out of print, but if there's ever any that you don't catch it, you don't know who made it, you want to know anything about it, please feel free to comment below or message me. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram. If you don't, I would encourage you to do that because that's the best way to contact me, and that information is also down below. And if you would like to schedule a session to look into your personal reading, your personal questions, issues, guidance, all that information is down below as well. So obviously the Triggers and Shadows Oracle deck is going to be present when we're talking about blocks and things that need to be healed, cleared. That is by me, and the link to purchase that is down below if you are interested. We also have the Chakra Wisdom. I think it's the Chakra Wisdom Tarot. But each card has an accompanying color that is associated with a chakra. So I definitely wanted to use that today. We've also got 2 Doreen Virtue decks. We've got the Angel Therapy Oracle cards. I mean, just look at that. Isn't that amazing how powerful those are? Those have a lot of healing messages, divine life purpose messages, chakras. There's a lot, a mixed bag of kind of cool stuff in that deck. This is the first Oracle deck that I ever used. This is the Angel, I think it's just the Angel Oracle cards, or Angel, yeah, I think it's just the Angel Oracle cards. This is the Gateway Oracle cards by Denise Lynn. So I just felt like with it being a new moon, a gateway is opening, you know, a new season, you know, kind of just what Spirit wants you to know. And then, of course, as I already said, the Kuan Yin. Sorry, guys, my nose is itching. I've had that in my throat, like, I don't know what that's about, but all right, we are going to get started with number 1. Number 1, again, is the raw amethyst. It's just so pretty. I was just really drawn to this one today. I don't know what that's about. And this feather wanted to be here as well. So I don't know if you guys, if anybody was going to get a message, you know, about a feather as a sign. I hope that helps you, because it was like wanting to be here. Also, this aura agate flame as well. I don't know. I wanted to have chakra colors in the from the choices here, so that's why that one wasn't there, but it still wanted to be here. So, oh boy. All right, so we've got mother issues. So I'll just go ahead and pull these out and see. Oof. Wow. These are some powerful cards. So let's just tap in here. I feel like I feel like and again, you know, if this first part doesn't resonate, you know, I would encourage you to watch the rest, because there will be more things we're getting into in depth. But I feel like some of you, if you chose number 1, you may just be starting kind of on this spiritual path. You may have just recently started noticing signs, synchronicities, things like that, like the feather, communication from spirit, animal totems, things like that. That might be why the purple, you know, the third eye, your third eye might be opening. But I feel like for some of you, you are just starting out on your journey, okay? And I feel like what has been holding you back thus far from pursuing your dreams started likely, you know, we got the mother issues card as the shadow, the trigger or shadow. The mother issues, in this case, the mother energy, you know, that often comes through in this regard is a mother who's cold, critical, and controlling, okay? And as a result of that, there could be subconscious things that you need to heal, obviously, because that's something that can cause long-term effects that you may not even realize, right? So what I'm getting is, if you had a mother who was this kind of energy, right? She also she does not look very feminine. She doesn't look very loving. She doesn't look very gentle. She does not look like she's a happy person, or that she's embracing her flow, right? If she's in this controlling mode, she's not in that receptive feminine flow like Kuan Yin is, right? Kuan Yin is like the ultimate, like just this feminine that's just like letting all this like stuff just come to her in this etheric, beautiful vibe, right? So if you grew up with that type of situation, most likely you're out of balance in your masculine and feminine energy, okay? And that might be something that you're starting to recognize has been an issue perhaps in your relationships. You know, maybe you're in a career that's very masculine dominated, but it doesn't work so well for you at home or, in a marriage or in a romantic situation. And the reason I am calling that out, I mean, it's something that does happen, right? When you have that mother issue, that you tend to, if you don't have that feminine role model who's in that receptive mode, you tend to just develop those masculine traits, because you didn't have that role model as an example, as that divine feminine figure in your life. And as a society in general, we are very, this is starting to transition, right, as we have the rise of the divine feminine now, but it's a very patriarchal society, right? It's very much masculine driven. The feminine energy is not accepted as being strong. So many of us adapt and, get more into our masculine side, because that's like what's rewarded. It's not rewarded to be emotional and to be in that, gentle energy, right? That doesn't really get you that far. Now, this is so funny because, like, you guys hear my voice getting hoarse, right? Well, the Justice card is what came out. Justice is about balance, but it's also in this deck is the throat chakra because it's blue. So what I'm getting is, you've not been in this position, and maybe you're starting to recognize that you're not embracing your true balanced self because of this issue. Because, you're starting to realize, gosh, I'm always in this kind of fight or flight mode. I'm in this like power, like, and I'm not really like, it's not, there's not balance in your relationships. And, maybe you're too quick to like cut things off or block things from flowing, because you're in that masculine, like go, go, go energy, right? And so it's like, it really needs to be balanced, for you to have, I think, not only to achieve, happiness within your own energetic field and balance within your own energetic field, but within your relationships. I also, you had solar plexus come up too, the solar plexus chakra specifically. That is the chakra that's associated with confidence, with your stomach. So, if you are having any kind of stomach issues, digestion issues, that can definitely be a solar plexus block manifesting that way. And I do actually know somebody who is amazing chakra guru. He's like spiritual Drano, cleans that stuff out. Obviously I don't get, any type of like a kickback or anything referring. I go to him myself. So if you are interested in exploring that, let me know. I'm happy to introduce you to him. But solar plexus chakra says it is safe for you to be powerful and take charge of your life in positive ways. So I feel like, too, and this could be kind of an alternating thing, like you're either too much in power energy, as like a coping mechanism because you don't have that divine feminine aspect that you really developed without that role model there. But, if you have a mother or had a mother that was critical and controlling and cold, and, the type of like, the types of things, like every time you go to do something, oh, you're going to do that. Oh, are you going to wear that? You're gonna do that. Why would you do that? It might make you question every decision you make, because you don't have that confidence because you were questioned and criticized like your whole life, right? So there could be a lot of that going on. Is this questioning? And now, but I think you're getting to this point where you are starting to realize that there's more than that. There's more than what's going on here and what you've been like programmed and like said, you're this, you're that. No, like you're starting to tap in is what I'm getting. This card is maddening. Like it's an amazing card, but it's so maddening. And it was the first deck when I was first starting to go through my awakening, 4 years ago that I would use, and I would get so pissed off. I'd be like, what do you mean I know what to do? Like, I'm asking you for guidance and you're saying you know what to do? Like, no, I don't know what to do. That's why I'm pulling a card. So I would always pull another card, of course. But that's fine because, I laugh. It's funny now, but you know what to do. Archangel Uriel, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. Uriel is one of the angels of the four directions, the angel of unconditional love. Okay, so to me, that's, even though this looks more like a masculine, Uriel. I don't know why they have this depicted as like a masculine energy, but maybe it's talking about, all right, you've got to balance. Like you're holding this light up, like you've been to this journey, this part of your journey thus far. Like masculine, masculine, masculine. And it's like, no, like there needs to be justice brought. You need to balance this out and have confidence, I think, to like stop listening to the critics and trust your own guidance and intuition. You're starting to get that, right? With the feather, with the third eye opening, being drawn to things, noticing synchronicities, that type of stuff. Like, you know what to do, and you shouldn't question it. You're not going crazy. If this is resonating and this is all new to you, please look back. Please look back at my recent videos. I think maybe the one that's like right before this in the queue was angel numbers. And then there should be a link within that one to my video that I recorded about, what happens when you're going through a spiritual awakening, some of the physical symptoms, some of the mental symptoms, some of the just experiences that you start to have and epiphanies and realizations. So I would encourage you to watch that if this is resonating. One of the other reasons that I was picking up on energy of somebody kind of starting out on this journey is because with the gateway cards, we got launching your journey. I am an intrepid traveler sailing forth into the universe. It's like you've packed your bags, you're ready to go. You know there's more out there than what you've been programmed, what you have been like, you're, criticized and judged, and something's out of balance. Something, there's this kind of cry in your soul, and it's like I feel like there's this launching, right, of like this next path, this next destination. Okay, so what I love is that it's time for your Kuan Yin message. Weave the future golden. Okay, so I haven't read from the book yet, but this is one based on everything else I'm getting. It's like, weave the future golden. It's like you have the power to manifest where you're going. You have the power to create and to change. It doesn't matter how old you are watching this. If you're going through a spiritual awakening and you're recognizing there's more there, tap into it and you can change your future. I mean, just like that. If you change your mindset and you start recognizing the power within you, and the power of God, and how all of these things, the universe is all intertwined, it's all one. Oh my goodness, what that can change. Like, just to wake up a day from now and have a different perspective and understanding of why things have happened in your life, it's amazing. But it's a number 44. So I was just talking about the angel numbers video. Okay, so I would check that out for sure. Fours definitely are tied to angels and foundation and those types of things. So let's see what Kuan Yin says. Let's see what she says here. And I may not read the entire thing. We'll see. It's kind of long, but something good is coming your way. Kuan Yin urges you to weave your future into the present moment, to call in and draw to you the opportunities, teachings, circumstances, and synchronicities waiting for you. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, guys. I was just talking about signs and synchronicities. This will enable your soul to live its divine destiny with greater abundance, bliss, and creative fulfillment. Do you know how much the divine wishes to support and assist you in living your heart's truth in this lifetime? Your truth. What were we just talking about? Throat chakra's truth. Kuan Yin, with grace and compassion, wishes to help you ascend to the next level of your life expression, truth, throat, so that your soul light may shine more brightly on the planet and help you and other beings to live with more heart and less fear. Okay, solar plexus is fear. We don't want to be in that space. No. You can choose to live a life infused with the golden energy of peace, prosperity, joy, and creativity. A future so golden is being woven into your present moment now, like a tapestry. With the choices and actions that you make in this moment, you call into being the divine golden tapestry of future bliss. Clever you. Kuan Yin is aware that there are opportunities and assistance waiting for you in your future embodiment. She wishes to assist you in drawing those future gifts into the present moment where they can be of most use to you. See, that's what I'm saying. If you just you change your mindset tomorrow, you can have a different life if you change your perception. This oracle indicates there's something special waiting in the wings for you, and if you wish to do so, you can receive healing and elevate your vibration so you are able to receive it more readily. If you have been holding a secret wish in your heart, perhaps to publish a book, be a healer, teach, or to write or sing, to attract a loving soulmate partnership, or to spiritually awaken at a deeper level, oh my God, you can't make this up. Take a moment to feel what it would be like for that heartfelt wish to manifest right now. Can you imagine the joy of it? Can you also allow for that joy to be such a normal, ordinary occurrence that it could be a part of your life right now? This is how you begin to weave that manifestation in this moment. Be bold, dream big, and imagine what it would feel like to live your dreams. Can you begin to cultivate those feelings now, irrespective of whether you see the manifestation of physical form or not. Starting with joy in your heart, whether it relates to something specific or not, is magnetic to the good that the universe wishes to deliver to you. It's like switching your inner light on, a higher voltage, so the special opportunities perfect for you can find their way to you more swiftly. And if your great good comes in an unexpected form, but still feels wonderful, accept it. Your future golden will come into your life in the most beautiful way, and usually if it is not exactly as we imagined it, it's even more perfect for us. And so then the book goes on. It talks about sitting with Kuan Yin. You can call her in, and you can go back and kind of ask for these things. Kind of just imagine that she's bringing you this golden light. She's bringing you joy, happiness, a further awakening, further insight, and just feel her there. There's no right or wrong way to do these things, right? These are just suggestions. So I hope that helped you, number one. And if you would like to tap more, into this specifics as it relates to you and your journey, then please contact me to schedule a session. All right, so we're going to go to number 2, which was the malachite skull. This guy is so amazing. Malachite is one of my favorite crystals, and it's really that and Apache tears were the first 2 that I actually started working with. Okay. This one actually had 2. No, wait, never mind. I'm sorry. It was the last one that had 2. Wow. So what I'm feeling like here, there's a couple of things. It's very interesting to me because I literally just finished recording an IGTV, an Instagram TV video, and this card came out, the drained card. And so you may, definitely want to go watch that. Again, it's not on YouTube. It is on my Instagram page at Divine Love 1130, and it's also on my Facebook page. If you follow me on Facebook, it should be posted there. But I did an in-depth kind of explanation of this card and some of the things that come up. So, but what I'm getting is, there is a situation, there's a relationship or a situation. It could be a job. It definitely could be a job, but I'm getting more emotion because the moon is here, and the moon is tied to emotion. The moon, I think, also ties to Cancer. So the sign of Cancer may, I don't know if that's relevant for you, but we also have the heart chakra here, right? And that is obviously an emotional type of a situation. But drained, that's used, depleted, emotional vampire. Somebody who is so drained that they're starting to crack and fall apart, right? That's not good. That's not a good place to be. So there's, with the moon here, there's some sort of a truth that has not been communicated or revealed, okay? Something is out of balance, obviously. We've got, the yin and the yang here, but the one wolf is going in the opposite direction. They're not side by side. So that tells me again that most likely you, if you're watching this video, whatever situation you're in is out of balance because you are the one giving to the point that you're being depleted. So the suggestion, that I would say, first of all, if it's an emotionally or physically abusive relationship, then that needs the situation. It's easy for me to say you can't just leave, obviously, if there's kids and things involved, but there are ways to do that, and there are resources out there if you need that information and assistance. I'd be happy to try to find that for you, but just know that you're not alone. If it is a situation where somebody is just, again, you're giving, it's out of balance, and maybe, my next suggestion to you would be to set boundaries and speak up. Okay, so perhaps you have the block here is that you're not expressing, you're hiding your frustration, because the moon is about hidden secrets, right? And this is the throat chakra. This is the blue, again, that we've got. Number one also got throat chakra. But if you aren't telling somebody and standing up for yourself and setting boundaries and telling someone how they're making you feel, in this situation, then they don't have an opportunity to adjust their behavior, right? So just I would caution you first, if you've not tried that, and if it's a situation where it's a safe situation where somebody's not harming you physically or anything like that. If you feel like you can communicate this and maybe suggest going to counseling, I feel like that that would be a good thing to try. Now, again, this is a general reading, so some of these messages, may resonate, some may not. But what I'm getting overall here is that this is a situation that needs to be released, let go, walk away from it, and move on. If you have spoken your truth and that truth is not being honored and you are being drained, and maybe explaining yourself twice, maybe trying to make it clear. But if someone is not willing to put in the equal effort and work and meet you halfway, that is time. They're not going to change, right? If they're not willing to try, they have to be willing to try and work on things. So, and I do offer. I'm not a licensed therapist, but I do offer sessions to kind of talk about some of these issues and wounds and communication. There's a lot of things that go into this, right? People's astrological signs, how they communicate, how they're wired is tied to that. That's how they're made. How they love, how they argue, how they think and feel and react. It's tied into that. It's tied into their core wounds. I mean, there's just so much stuff that can be delved into that helps you understand this person better. But if this person is absolutely like they are not open to that, they're not open to working on things, we have the release card here. And you can see too that these birds look kind of like a blue, it's like, and she's holding this one. She's kind of like, all right, I've spoken my truth several times. It's time to set myself free. Like, there's like this one little last one that she's kind of holding on to, this last hope. And she's like, all right, this is the last chance. I feel like maybe, if this is resonating, you've given this person many chances and you're kind of at the end of your rope. This says, work with Archangel Michael to let go of what no longer serves you or your purpose. So whatever this is holding you back. It's like you have your wings, but this is dragging you down and draining you and not letting you live your authentic, true self. It's not letting you just, if you're drained and depleted, that's no way to live. And there is hope, okay? We have the overcoming difficulties card. Look at this. Archangel Jeremiel, the worst is now behind you and you are surmounting any previous challenges. So to me, this is just very, very profound because we have this angel here. Again, she's holding onto this little bird. It's like all this other stuff has been spoken. It's gone. And what's interesting to me is her eyes kind of look vacant. I mean, she's kind of like, I don't know, not there. Her wings, it's interesting because, right, I mean, most angels, at least that I typically you see, their wings are white and hers are like brown. It's like they're heavy. They're heavy and they're storing all this toxic energy and she's not flying with the birds. Here, the next card after the release, there's a flight here. I mean, look at that trail. That it's like uplifted, which this feather wanted to be here, by the way. If you watch number 1, you would have seen that you can't make this stuff up. I don't even know what to say. Look at this. This is launching, like letting this toxic situation, this person, whatever this is, go. You're able to soar. I mean, look at that. Just launched into the stratosphere. Weightless. Like, just, so much happier. And it's delicate, though. It's going to take time because this is the gateway, proceeding softly. right? There needs to be time to heal, time to learn to love yourself again, right? Notice how this path, it's like this path on the journey, it's like the flowers are blooming, right? Spring is coming, as I was saying earlier, but it's a table for one. It's a table for one. There's the heart there. It's like that self-love. Like, I'm going slow and I'm learning to love myself again. My inner power grows in moments of quietude. Like, finding your strength on your own is so important after going into this type of situation, because if you allow yourself to just start spending time with someone again, if you've, number one, not fully healed, that's not fair to you or that other person, but you become susceptible. If you're in that codependent energy, that fear that you don't want to be alone and you don't heal and love yourself, you are very susceptible to attracting this type of situation again. And I've been there. So this is not a lecture, this is not a judgment from me. I have been there. And I thought, when I was single, back in 2013, after my relationship like this, I thought when I was single for 6 weeks that was a long time. I didn't date anybody. I didn't, and I went on a couple dates after that. And I did, I was like, I wouldn't say, like, it's definitely, I didn't settle because I was kind of like, I'm not into that person or whatever. But I had not taken nearly enough time to heal myself at all, like, looking back. And so I was very much sucked into something happening way, way too fast. And it was not in a manner, the same manner that had happened with the other person. I definitely would not say this person, this other person was mentally ill like the first one was. But there were definitely aspects that were controlling. There were aspects that I lost myself. I didn't set boundaries, right? Because if you are allowing yourself to get drained like this, you're not setting boundaries. So it's something that you really need to work on, before you let yourself get carried away with something happening too quickly again. And then before you know it, you're back in this situation. So this is what this is saying, is that, yes, you've got, if this person's not meeting you halfway, you've tried, you've communicated your needs, your boundaries in a healthy way, and this person isn't working with you, it is time to let go and move on, and you will fly. But you can't expect to just, like, 6 weeks later, like me, or 6 days later, even 6 months later, think that you're just going to wake up and be in this perfect soulmate happy relationship. You have to proceed softly, slowly, and learn to love yourself first. Okay, that is essential. And that malachite is here to heal that heart. Heart healing takes a long time. There's forgiveness. And the most important thing that I want to stress to you if you're in this situation is that you cannot have regrets. And it's so hard to not. The thing that I used to say a lot, before I awakened was, and even kind of after I did, was like, I had regrets that I wasted. Number one, when I was in the narcissistic relationship, that I took him back for another year and a half, right? I lost a year and a half of my life where, I was in my, like, I was 33, 30, early 30s, early to mid 30s, right? I lost a year and a half of that time where I could have been meeting someone else and getting married and having a baby and all the things that I thought I wanted back then. So I had regrets. Of course, then I really had regrets with the second marriage that I rushed into quickly, because that, when I got married, I was 35, and I had made it very clear that I wanted a child, and that was, something that I had dreamed of at that time, right? And so imagine, there I am getting divorced at 37, thinking, all right, now my life's over. I've wasted all this time on the wrong people. Obviously now, it took me a long time to get there, but you can do it. If I can get to a point where I don't look back and have regrets, and I look at the lessons and I look at, my gosh, these people taught me that I would rather be alone than be drained. I would rather be alone, traveling the world. I don't know with COVID now about that, but just traveling, going out in nature, exploring, learning to love myself, reading a good book, and not having to worry if I'm, meeting someone else's needs, because meanwhile my mine are being drained, right? I can leave, this teapot on the table if I want, and nobody's gonna get on me about it. I can just decide to go on a walk. I don't have to answer to anybody. You start to learn to love that freedom more than you love, this need to have someone beside you, or to have someone in your life you learn to become that person. And I promise you, it sounds daunting, but it is so feasible. And when you do that and you start to realize, wow, that was a gift, because they taught me what I don't want and what I will never settle for again, what I will never, those red flags, I will never ignore them. I will have boundaries. So you can start to look at those things as a gift, if that makes sense. So we're going to take a look at the Kuan Yin and see what she says here. But drink from the emerald fountain. I mean, again, I can't make this stuff up. I don't know what the guidebook is going to say, but drink from the emerald fountain, and malachite was the crystal, and we're talking about the heart chakra. To me, it's like that heart healing, that energy that is there, right? But let's see. And she's a number 7, which this is absolutely perfect. Okay, again, if you haven't seen it, I think it was the last video I recorded on YouTube here. The spiritual signs and synchronicities, the angel numbers. Number 7, that was a huge number for me on my journey. Especially when I went through that second divorce and I thought my life was over and I'd wasted all this time. 7, 7, 7, 7, all the time. 7s, I mean, it was like you're on the right path. Your journey it's not making sense now, but you are going forward. Everything is okay. So that's what the 7 is about. Let's see what the book says. Okay, turned right to it here. The divine feminine is encouraging of the awakening and empowerment of all living beings. When a sincere seeker is trying to find the way through, there is much help sent. It makes sense to be open to receive it, indeed to step forward and drink from the emerald fountain, which is the unconditionally loving heart chakra of Kuan Yin. Oh my God, you guys, you can't make this up. I don't even know what to say. Allow yourself to be nourished by the power and love of the Divine Mother flowing to you now. There is nothing to be gained in making life more difficult than it needs to be, other than unnecessary stress or perhaps the learning that it isn't much fun that way. At this time, you are going through a time of important spiritual growth. Your higher self has set a spiritual schedule and is planning on being at a certain destination in time and space to set events in motion, to benefit from synchronicities, and to be able to live out its divine purpose in the physical world too. The soul is very resourceful and is calling for divine help in getting to its destination on time. When you allow yourself to be helped, great reserves of support become available to you. Your soul is strengthened and nourished by the loving heart of the Divine Mother. As it is filled with love from the emerald fountain, it can flow through you and you feel happier, more balanced, content, and peaceful. The more you allow yourself to be assisted, the more you will feel detached and trusting. You will find fewer problems actually arise for you, and when they do, you might be surprised just how swiftly they're resolved, sometimes with only a small amount of effort on your part. This is the benefit of allowing divine forces greater than us individually to nourish and support us. We allow the loving power, much greater than our individual consciousness, to do the heavy lifting, and our soul path unfolds more joyfully and more quickly. It is a doing without doing. Soul path number 7 is definitely about that. You are at a point on your path where you need support to rise up and break through. You are invited to drink from the emerald fountain, to accept the love pouring endlessly from the heart chakra of the Divine Mother, as it would greatly benefit you, even in ways you are not as yet that are not part of your conscious awareness. May your spiritual thirst be sated, and may you be supported and assisted by the Mother Divine. So what it's encouraging you to do, there's a ritual you can do. You can imagine that you're at this fountain with emerald water flowing from it. And imagine Kuan Yin, this beautiful Asian goddess there, and just her gentle, loving energy. Or you could even work with Mother Mary if that's more familiar to you. Whatever resonates, right? And just Archangel Uriel, just that unconditional love, and just imagine it flowing into your heart. Imagine her embracing you, and just trusting that it's going to be okay, right? I mean, it's time to fly, and I feel like you're being held back and drained. So again, I've been there, and if you would like to schedule a session to talk about your specific situation, that information is down below. Okay, so let's move to number 3, please. Number 3, and I always say please because I'm like, please, give me the cards, the guidance for this person, please. So that's where that came from. This is the Lapis Organite Pyramid. So if you chose that one, we're going to see what comes out, but that is throat chakra. We've already had throat chakra come out in the first 2, so you may want to check that out too. All right. This is the one that had the 2 come out from the gateway oracle. Wow. So I feel like this one, again, and if you'd watched the first 2, I was kind of setting an intention that we were going to kind of look at like blocks and things holding you back and like where can you get to the next level. And I feel like here you're dealing with a situation, a romantic situation, and it's like kind of stalled right now. There's not forward progress, and I think it's kind of holding you back on your journey because you are maybe stuck or focused on this one person. This one person who is maybe not awakened and speaking their truth, right? Because we've got the this throat chakra stone. We also have the King of Swords, and it's tied to the third eye and the crown chakra. King of Swords is definitely, they are, number one, they're a king. They're showing up as a king. And if you're in a relationship or a dynamic, I should say, with somebody who is being passive aggressive and who's stalling and who's sabotaging things, they're not in their truth. Okay, so like I would say the flip side, like the King of Swords is the counterpart, the Queen of Swords. It's like setting those boundaries, standing up for your truth. And you're being stalled on your journey if you're engaging in this behavior, if you're allowing this behavior, if you're attaching yourself to an outcome with a person because just because that they may be your twin flame. Okay, the twin flame card is here. It's interesting because I did have like this flame I showed earlier. It wanted to be here. I don't know. That's can't make it up, guys. There's been a lot of that happening in this entire reading. So, but excuse me, and see, there's that throat chakra. Oh man, I don't want to blame these masculines, but geez, my throat has been. We got the twin flame here, we've got the king, and we've got my throat doing that. So, passive aggressive is the shadow, the trigger in shadow. So this person, it literally could be, something that is blocking you from moving forward, right? If you, outside of your twin flame relationship, if you are expecting someone to kind of read your mind and know like what you're thinking and you're not expressing your truth, that's something that you need to work on. But really what I'm getting here is stepping more fully. What's holding you back is letting the shadow of a person who's not present in your life and is not showing up for you, they're holding you back. And I've been there. And, the sword has to come out. You've got to stand up and say, no, I'm not dealing with this, right? Because if somebody is not in your life, but they're not out of your life, they're blocking the flow of energy. If that makes any sense, okay? So the shadow is here. It's like that energetic connection, right? There's that fifth dimensional bond. Like when you have that twin flame, soul connection, whatever you want to call it, you can label it whatever you want. They're always there. It's like the shadow hanging on you, right? It's like I'm here, and you at times feel like you can't move on from it, or you shouldn't move on because you're supposed to wait around. And that's the last thing you should be doing, is wait around for them to wake up and come to you. You need to set boundaries and not accept crumbs, not accept, dishonesty. When they cut you off or they're stalling, right? There's a lot in the twin flame dynamic. Some soul connections, whatever you want to call it, with like it's called bench warming, and it's like this concept that this person knows, masculine, feminine, however you want to take it, they know they're not ready for a relationship. They aren't even sure maybe how they feel about you, or they've not expressed the feelings, but there's something there, they know. And again, it's some of it, it's unconscious, like they're not awakened, or there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of insecurity and a lot of uncertainty about what they want in their life, which is fine. But they won't come out and say it, right? They just stall. They just stall, and they like try to keep you, whether it's conscious or unconsciously, they want to keep throwing you crumbs so that you think there's hope that they're going to just show up and decide, yeah, I want to date you. I want to have do normal things and spend time with you and show up, like talk to you, have a conversation. They give you that crumb and they stall, and then, they might reach out again a couple weeks later to check in. And it's like they're keeping you there, trying to keep you there, like while they go out and try to figure things out, because they don't want you to move on. They don't want you to be with anyone else, but yet they don't want to commit to you either. That's wrong. Okay. Whether they're your twin flame or not, you have to get to the point where you say, enough of this bullshit. Like, it took me a very long time to get there, but it's like, you know what? Like, I respect that you may not be ready for the things that I've maybe, wanted or pushed for. And that's okay. We're at different points in our journey, and maybe it's not meant to be in this lifetime. Maybe all it was for me to awaken, which is a beautiful gift. But, don't reach out every few weeks and act like we're going to make plans, and then you don't. And then you keep making excuses, right? Stalling, saying that you're in hermit mode, saying that you're not really, around, not really seeing anybody. It's like, okay, I can respect that. I get that. And I appreciate the honesty. But then you find out, 2 weeks later that they're hanging out with someone else. Like, no, like, that's not acceptable. If you're not ready, you're not ready. That's acceptable. But you can't, stall someone else and you can't let someone do that to you, right? And it's a very hard thing. You have to stand up, speak your truth, and say, I'm not doing this anymore, right? No matter what type of connection this is, you have to be strong enough to bring out that throat chakra and that sword and say, enough. Like, if you aren't ready, that's fine. But if you're not going to be in my life, but yet you're not quite out of my life, you're not letting me move on, like, somebody else amazing could show up for me who is ready and wants the things that I want. And I'm open to that. So I have to have my energetic field open. I have to have that flow of energy. I can't be stuck, stalled and on hold waiting for someone. And it's definitely a vibration. Like, even if you're not, quote, chasing them, you're not, running after them, you're not messaging them, you're not, even reaching out to them, even really like engaging in the 5D stuff anymore, in the telepathy, and you're kind of blocking. I mean, you don't want to block yourself off. Like, that's a whole nother topic. But, even if you're not doing that, if you're still staying stuck, waiting, checking their social media, hoping, hoping that they acknowledge your social media, hoping that you hear from them, and that type of thing, like, that energy's still there, right? So I would recommend, if you're connected to them on social media, unfriend them. I never dreamed in a million years I'd get to that point, but I did, because it was for my own sanity. It's like, look, like, I want to be able to express myself and not have this, like, conscious or unconscious, like, hope that I'm going to get some validation from this person and then be disappointed when I don't. Or get my hopes up when I do, that it means something else is going to happen, right? It was maddening. It was absolutely maddening, and I did not realize how much it was draining me, and taking a toll on my emotions, until I did the unfriending. And it's like, you know what? And maybe it was a shitty thing to do, like, to do it, like, maybe the passive aggressive, like, it's like, you don't but it's like, what's the point of telling this person I'm going to do this? Because it almost seems like you have an ultimatum. It's like, you know what? No, they can still contact you. I don't believe in blocking. I don't believe in blocking your heart. It's, you got to keep your heart open. You've got to keep that forgiveness flowing. I don't believe in blocking in any way, because it does what it does. It blocks you from flowing forward. Be it, even if you don't want to be with that person anymore, you blocking them is blocking the flow. So, but, they can still contact you, but it's like, for your own sanity, you may need to just free yourself from that situation, if that makes any sense. So, but anyway, the twin flame card says the answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship. Now, if you are in a situation where you already have set these boundaries, you're going to think about doing this, or, you've had enough and you're kind of like, I'm getting to this point, but I'm nervous about it. This is beautiful because the card that says all is well. All is well. Everything is happening exactly as it is supposed to, with hidden blessings you will soon understand. Okay? So, you can look at it two ways. There's two ways to look at this, right? If this is resonating for you, you've cut this person off in some way. They weren't showing up for you. They're not going to show up for you if you engage in the same patterns and the same energy is stagnant. It's stalled, right? It's not going to progress. So, you have to make a shift. And either they're going to meet you there eventually, right? They can't shift if you're engaged, if you're still tolerating that whatever was not working, that cycle. So they're either going to get out of the hamster wheel too once you jump off of it, or you freeing up that energy field is going to bring in someone who is ready to step up and be there with you, and show up and work, right? What's really cool, you got for the Gateway Oracle, embarking on an adventure. I savor the wonders of the world. This is kind of about there's a woman in here. She's alone and she's got a telescope. She's looking at, number one, the higher perspective. I'm saying look at the higher perspective here. Yes, it's painful to let go of someone in a way that you never thought you would have to do. But for your own mental health, and the energy is stagnant. You will stay stagnant in that cycle if you just allow the crumbs and all that behavior to continue. If you allow it, and that's not, I used to think that I would have to keep getting triggered until I didn't get triggered anymore. And that was unconditional love. And I realized the end of last year that it's about unconditionally loving myself enough to remove myself from situations that trigger me and rip my heart out, and the disappointment and the highs and lows. And it's you know what? No, just because this person's my twin flame, if they're not ready or they don't want the things that I want, I'm not going to sit here and keep putting myself through this anymore. And I have no hard feelings, but it's if they show up, great. And if I'm still, in a position where, I'm single and can work with them on something, great. But maybe I'm not going to be, and that's okay. Who knows what lies ahead? But looking at it from a higher perspective, just knowing that it's about loving yourself, it's about going on your own adventure. This journey, this twin flame journey, is not for the faint of heart. It is truly about your journey back to yourself, and it's such a beautiful gift because you have to get to this point where, I thought I had let go of the codependent energy, and it's no, the thought of cutting someone off like that. In that way, I've never done that before, really. I mean, and it was very, very hard, but at the same time, gosh, I felt better. My soul was not going to rest. And that's where it's how all is well is when you take these actions, if your soul is guiding you, right? I suggest don't do it. Be sure you're sober when you make these decisions. Be sure that, you're doing it not out of anger, not out of spite, not out of revenge. This was something that my soul was calling me to do. And I was just I can't ignore this because my soul is screaming at me, you have to do this. You have to cut this cord. That's going to do whatever shift. And I've shifted so much since then, actually. I rarely drink anymore since I did that. It's there was just this energy that was tethering me to this lower vibrational stuff, these crumbs and this, just lack of this self-respect for myself. And once I realized, no, I love myself enough to remove myself and trust that the universe, I just opened myself up to the flow. And, it's all about an adventure for yourself, looking at it from a higher perspective and trusting that the seeds that you've planted are going to bloom. Who knows when? It takes a while, that divine timing. It's about patience. The abundance of the universe is pouring into my life. Just knowing and trusting that, gosh, I've done all this work. And I know I've done all this work. And whether this person, he has free will, I'm at this point, I know somebody amazing is going to show up for me. And I'm worthy of it. And if it's not the person who's my twin flame, my God, it would be someone better. It would be someone, on that level of what I know is there, or better even than I can imagine, right? It's that trust and that flow and that just, you can't stay stuck. So what I'm getting strongly, I guess, to sum things up is that there's this boundary, there's this truth that needs to be set. Something is stalling you, I think, because you're allowing somebody to keep doing the same things to you over and over again. So Empress of the Pearl is the Kuan Yin. I mean, this, you guys, okay, this is another thing I can't make up. All three of these, the numbers on the cards have had significance to tie into the message. 10. 10 is about closing out cycles. It's ending, it's over. Whatever this cycle is, it's stalled, it's not working, this pattern, this dynamic. The King of Swords, it's time to, listen to that intuition, listen to that higher self and your heart and your soul, and know like what you need to do it's not even, and you've got to get to a point where it's not even about what you think is going to bring your twin flame back and what you think is going to help them awaken. It's about what your soul needs to be happy. And being in this like stuck, stagnant energy, right? This energy is not making you happy. There's a shadow of a person there. He's not showing up for her, and he's holding her back. She's letting him hold her back because she's not standing up for herself and saying, you know what, enough of this. As much as I, feel and know like this person, they're my twin or whatever, it's not time yet, and this dynamic isn't working. And maybe in this lifetime, it's not going to be time. It's time to let it go and trust all is well, and that something else is coming. So there's the 10. Empress of the Pearl, that's that divine feminine goddess energy. It's like, this is where you need to be. You need to be in this like magnetized goddess energy, like just looking at things from a higher perspective, the high priestess, like, no, this is not goddess energy. Being held down and held back and stifled by a shadow of a man who's not showing up for you, that is not goddess energy. Accepting crumbs is not goddess energy. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. I feel like I'm channeling something, but you can tell I'm passionate about this because I've been there. This has been my journey, and I'm still working through it. But, if this is resonating, and if you identify yourself as a twin flame, or you're not sure what it is, but you're having this type of a bond with it, you feel their energy still, and the dreams and all these things, I would love to try to help you work through it, because I have worked through so much stuff these last 4 years, okay? So let's look at Empress of the Pearl. Let's see what she says here. Sorry, my cat is meowing in the background. I know, it's been like an hour, and he wants the water on. Okay, Empress of the Pearl. You have an inner gift of great value, born of struggle, adversity, and challenge. In wisdom, you know that suffering can lead to growth, provided we are willing to search for a way to heal through it. Seeing challenges as ways to expand your spiritual light empowers you to focus on the growing light rather than getting caught up in suffering. Yeah, focus on the growing light. Focus on the higher perspective. Natural pearls are rare, lustrous, feminine gems created within a living organism, the pearl oyster. They have a unique creation process. Natural pearls are created when a foreign entity, such as a grain of sand or parasite, finds its way into the pearl oyster. The oyster reacts and creates layers of pearlescent substance, creating a warmly glowing treasure within. Just like the beautiful and rare natural pearl, you have a unique spiritual beauty to offer to the world. Your pearl is your precious gift, something unique that is being born through your experiences and consciousness that cannot be created or copied by another because it is of your own unique soul light. Any struggles you have experienced are a karmic gift to help you grow this inner exquisite offering to support the spiritual evolution of humanity. Once you recognize this, you can dispense with your struggles more swiftly, using them to help you grow and not adding unnecessary energy or focus to the problem, which might make it grow instead. If you have found yourself attracting negative energies from those around you, or perhaps feeling drained or sometimes even possessed by negative thoughts or experiences, you don't have to feel afraid. You can heal with Kuan Yin now, allowing that which is stirred up within you to begin forming the beautiful gift you have to share. Just as the pearl starts from irritation and reaction, so are the circumstances in your life which feel uncomfortable, serving you to help you grow your gift. It is time to realize that your soul is growing in luster and beauty to share with the world. Once you realize this, your struggles become less and your soul light becomes even more luminous. I don't even know what to say. This is just the most amazing analogy that I've never even heard before as far as the twin flame journey goes. But it's akin to the pearl. It's this thing that gets in there and it irritates it and it triggers this reaction, and it's ugh. But guess what comes out of it? A pearl, right? The twin flame journey and the spiritual awakening journey, but the twin flame journey especially, which is what we're talking about here, is all about the triggers and the shadows and the things that are brought out of you, and it's painful and it's ugly, at times and you're brought to your knees. But what results from all of that work, right? It's kind of like a diamond being formed too. The pearl, all of that triggering, all of that irritation, it blossoms into something beautiful. That's what you're cultivating now. That's what you're cultivating now. So you've got to look at that from a higher perspective, right? This person, yes, you might want that relationship. You might have been on this journey for years, right? And you may be to the point where it's like, I don't even care if I'm with my twin flame anymore. I just want to be in a sacred union with someone who shows up for me. You feel like you've done all this work. You feel like it's never ending, right? I know, I feel you. But when you start to look at what amazing growth you've had, and you can be thankful for that, just and know that like you are forming a pearl or a diamond or however you want to look at it. And how amazing is that? And how close we are to the finish line. It really does feel like that. I felt like that a year ago, but now I look back and I thought, gosh, I wasn't ready then. I hadn't set these boundaries, right? Boundaries are the next big thing for you. If you're on this journey and you've not done that yet, I'm telling you, it will shift things in ways you've never dreamed. Within your auric field, just the energy, and to be within your own energy, without friends around, distractions. I mean, if you have kids and stuff, I know you can't really help that right now as far as, having that alone time. But to the extent you can be in your own energy and just relish that, it is so empowering. But I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you would like to look at your specific situation, that information is down below. Thanks so much. Take care.